there is actually a ton to go over today based on Star Citizen Live, going live earlier today on Twitch, but I don't have time for this video. I'm probably going to have to circle back to it. I might try and put a couple pieces in, but there's quite a few interesting things to cover that are related to the CCU game, so I am going to bring them back in, but it may be a second video later today or something. Sorry, I just don't have time with it being Thanksgiving to include it all. Just want to let you guys know there's a bunch of information. If you have time, go ahead and take a look, and then hopefully I'll get either a second video out or I'll at least touch on some of them throughout this video. A2 is back in the Warbond game with a $75 discount. It seems like a good discount until you realize what you have to upgrade from. So these two, the Merchantman and the Orion, are the same price point, and they're the least amount of spend at $25. Both of them are actually pretty good. Usually I don't say that with the concept ship, but it's not at all likely that either of these will come out in the next year. So you have quite a bit of time to plan out your chain to the A2 and beyond it. So I'm actually pretty comfortable in choosing either one of these. It is possible that the Orion may go through some changes based on what we just heard on Star Citizen Live with some major cargo changes. It may affect the Orion, it may not. It seems like it's built the same way as these larger hull series as far as cargo is concerned, so it may eventually hit the Orion. I don't really know yet. So price may change on the Orion. I think the Merchantman is less likely to have a price change. No work is being done on it, basically. It doesn't have any strange hull type cargo attached to it, so I think the Merchantman is probably the safer choice for all of 2026, whereas the Orion, they may realize, oh, we forgot to talk about the Orion changes because we're changing how cargo is done on these big hull series, and now we're changing the Orion. This is complete speculation on the Orion. They did not bring up the Orion in Star Citizen Live, but they did talk about the whole series and the Ironclads, so we'll get to those in a minute. But again, I'm leaning just slightly towards the Merchantman here, but price-wise are the same. If you're going to apply this in a chain very soon, it's not going to matter. You can choose either one, but the Merchantman has had Warbonds in the past, so it definitely makes a better one for that as well. So I'm still going to lean towards the Merchantman regardless, because you're going to get to the Merchantman, at least potentially, for less money, because it has had Warbonds in the past, in fact, very recently. If you're trying to lock in some security with your chain, I guess the Carrack, but you're spending 3 times as much, and it brings it down to a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't think that's a huge value play. And somebody actually asked me about my ratio, the point I make about the ratio, about the discount you get versus the money you spend. I'm not sure where I came up with that, but it just seems to me like if you're spending the same amount to get a certain discount, then I suppose that's a fair trade, I guess, is the way I might look at it. If you're getting twice the discount than you are in actual spend, I think that's a better deal. And if you're getting 3x or 4x the discount that you are in the actual money you spend, I think that there's more value there, right? So I think that's why I look at it. Whereas if you had to spend $75 to get a $25 discount, I don't think I would like that at all. I don't even know if I would buy it, quite frankly. I mean, if we're talking smaller amounts, you look at it as, okay, I had to pay $25 for a $5 discount. That doesn't sound good, right? Maybe it's a marketing brain in my head talking to me. Maybe it's just based on value. I don't really know. But if I ever talk about ratios, that's not like some hard and fast financial rule or anything. It's just how I feel about the discount versus the money that's being spent. So thanks for asking that question, because others probably had it as well. So again, Merchantman here, that is really the best play here. A secondary choice would be the Orion, and if for some reason you don't want to deal at all with any type of concept ships raising or lowering in price, I suppose you could go for the Carrack, but that is not a good deal. Yesterday's video, it went a bit long, so I didn't really have time to put in everything that I really wanted. There was a lot of speculation talk there that I had to fill in. I missed out on a couple things. One of those things is LTI tokens. So right now there's 3 LTI tokens that you can basically use to start one of your chains. if you don't already have something that you want to use. I'm a crazy man. I only go with a dedicated LTI token that is a referral reward because I want to maximize the discount, but there are inherent risks in using a referral reward, i.e. you cannot melt it, right? That's a big deal. That's why I haven't really applied any of them. If I was less concerned about maximizing my spend, I would come and buy an LTI token like the MDC or a couple others that I'm going to go over here in a minute. Again, not everybody's playing the referral game. Some people have difficulty getting a referral. Some people don't want to play the second account game where they're shuffling Warbond CCUs back and forth between different accounts. So, or I guess shuffling them between, not back and forth. You can't do back and forth. Once you make a trade, it's gone forever. Some people don't want to play that game, and that's fine, right? That makes sense to me. It makes things easier, and who doesn't need a little bit more ease in their life, especially with the hobby? If you wanted to play the CCU game with that type of a chain where you start with a purchased LTI token, the MDC is the cheapest one available now. It's been the cheapest one for a while. I think the previous cheapest ones would have been the Atlas Geo and Atlas, the CSV, the MTC, which is a similar vehicle here. It just has basically a different loadout. It's a little bit larger on the inside as well. I don't remember if the X1s ever went to Warbond. They probably did. But then you had the stuff like the Pulse. They were lower priced. But again, based on what we now know of the CCU game and what's happened over 2024 and 2025, and very likely is going to expand within 2026. Again, no insider information here, but the writing's on the wall. I don't know if it actually makes sense to purchase this low priced of a vehicle for a Warbond LTI token. It may, if you want to still do some speculation, but if you're buying this, the only speculation you have until $100 is basically the G12s, right? So you could spend $45 new money, then purchase one of the 3 G12s that are available. I think there's a third one probably on the next page that's $65. So it's $15 to get here. I suppose you could do that. That's really one way to play it. And then hope that these go to like $80 or $90. If they went to 80, I think that would be a little bit high, but it is an Origin. So 80 is possible. 75 is possible, 90 is possible. Who knows what they're actually doing here? So you could speculate with the G12 to get closer to the $100 ship range because that's basically where the Warbonds start, right? I think if it goes to 80, it would be perfect for something like a Cuddy Black Warbond. As you can see, the Cuddy Black Warbond went down to a $90 ship or a $95 ship, depending on which one you grabbed. If they go to 80, again, it's a smaller gap fill. If it's 75, it's going to be a bigger gap fill. But again, if you speculate on those G12s, you can get at least closer to some of these, the Warbonds for the Cuddy Black or something. So as far as other LTI tokens, you also have something like the Salvation at 55, and then you have the Alpha Wolf at 105. So you got the Salvation here at 55, and then you have the Alpha Wolf at 105. So all 3 of those are absolutely viable choices to begin a chain with. It just depends on how much you want to speculate and or kind of wait for a gap fill. Or look, if you have store credit, then the gap fills probably aren't as much of an issue. It's money you've already sunk into the game that you are not using effectively. Maybe it doesn't matter. So that's really how you can play it. I hope that helps people kind of understand how to start their LTI chain. You can go really low end and do some speculation and pour on a lot of hopium that will get some gap fillers that will be CCUs, actual Warbond CCUs rather, and then we can get up to the rest of the game that kind of starts right at above $100, like the Cuddy Black for 110 or the Nova 120 or even the 350R at 125, and of course the C1 at 125 as well. The RAF has had a few, but again, we know that the price is going to increase on that. And well, there you have it. There's different ways to play the CCU game, starting with an LTI token. Unfortunately, that is it. I'm not going to have much time to cover things. I do need to jump out and go take care of some things for Thanksgiving dinner. Thanks for joining me, and I'm going to try to put out another video tonight. If not, expect 2 videos tomorrow. That's really how I think I'm going to have to roll with it. But anyhow, that's it for me, guys. Appreciate your time. Zi-Tek, out.